The weather is about to change a ton across the United States as our big tornado outbreak system moves out, and we're eventually going to see another storm system in the middle of this week that'll bring some snow and even some isolated severe weather. And then by the last week of March, we are likely going to see multiple more big storm systems. So in today's forecast, we're going to break down exactly what you need to know about the weather that'll be impacting the United States over the next couple of weeks. We'll begin with what's happening out there today, and we actually have a huge storm system moving right along the East Coast. We are watching for a low-end threat of severe weather anywhere from the Ohio Valley back into the southeast, with damaging winds being the main concern, but even a couple of tornadoes are going to be possible. I would likely be live today, but my AC unit is broken, so I don't really have much control over that, and it is very hot right now in this room, so I'm making a video instead. But overall, this system will be moving out by tomorrow. We'll have much nicer weather along the East Coast as we go into tomorrow, but I am eyeing another storm system as we go into the middle of the week that'll be impacting areas in the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and perhaps even the Northeast, and this could also bring a little bit of severe weather and snow, and we'll talk more about that here in just a moment. The last 2 days have been insane. We've had 2 big tornado outbreaks, and we've at least had 66 tornadoes confirmed so far in the Midwest, down into the deep south, and also into the southeast. These are some of the storm reports from Friday's severe weather event. Over 500 wind reports, which is absurd. That is a lot of wind reports. That is a very high number. 37 tornado reports, lots of hail reports as well. That is a very high-end severe weather event. Yesterday, there was not nearly as many reports, but it still felt just about as significant as what we saw on Friday. We still had a lot of tornadoes, 36 tornado reports at least right now, wind reports at 137, and then we also had hail reports a little over 2 dozen. This number will continue to climb, I think, over the next 24 hours, and over the next couple of days, the National Weather Service will continue to survey the different areas that receive damage, and we'll know a more exact number of tornadoes, but overall, at least 66 have been confirmed. Now, for the rest of today, we are anticipating a little bit more severe weather along the East Coast, nothing like what we saw yesterday, but there will be some damaging winds and a few tornadoes. There is actually an enhanced risk of severe weather in place in western Pennsylvania. That is for the wind threat that is going to be coming out of a few rounds of thunderstorms this afternoon. And there's also a chance again for even a couple of tornadoes back into areas like the southeast. This is your wind risk for today. And then the tornado threat, generally speaking, again, is on the lower side of things. I know it's a large 5% tornado risk, which is actually a little bit more elevated, but I really don't anticipate that many tornadoes today. Just have ways to receive alerts. Most tornadoes that happen today will be on the brief side of things, and they should be relatively weak. Wouldn't rule out over the next couple of hours an isolated strong tornado back over here in Florida, South Carolina, or Georgia. But again, the probabilities of that are still low, but not zero. So for the rest of today, there will be storms moving across Pennsylvania, West Virginia, back into the Carolinas right around 2 to 3 o'clock. By around 5 to 6 o'clock, I could see there being a slightly more elevated tornado risk in and around southern Pennsylvania, right around Maryland and northern Virginia. So just stay weather aware in those areas. Storms will continue back over in eastern Virginia and eastern North Carolina with damaging winds and again a couple tornadoes being the main concern. And then eventually as we go late into this evening, we're mostly just talking about some showers, some thunderstorms, but not really much severe weather left after sunset tonight. Good thing is that we're not really expecting a nocturnal tornado threat, which is something that we ended up seeing yesterday back over near Troy, Alabama. Now as we go later into today as well across the southeast, not really much more is going to happen in Florida after about 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon. There will be some spotty damaging winds, maybe a brief spin up before eventually we're starting to see these storms fizzle out, and then areas in the southeast will have much nicer weather as we go into tomorrow. Now, beyond this big storm system, the weather is going to continue to stay relatively active, but before that happens, we'll be dealing with some snow and rain along the west coast over the next 24 to 48 hours, and also things will be clearing out in the Great Plains and along the east coast, unless you're back over in the upper Midwest, where there could be a few snowflakes as we go into tomorrow afternoon. As we go into Tuesday, there will be a storm system moving right into the central plains, and you might be thinking, this is a repeat of what we literally just saw. The pressure down to 984 millibars Tuesday night, very strong low pressure system. Well, not necessarily. It won't be a repeat. However, we are expecting some snow and maybe even some severe weather as we go into Wednesday. There won't be enough ingredients in place with what we just saw for there to be severe weather really on Tuesday night down in the southeast and also in the southern plains. However, there will be some strong winds in place on Tuesday night into Wednesday morning with very strong tight pressure gradients, which is going to lead to wind gusts more than likely around 30 to 50 miles per hour in most of the Great Plains and also into the Midwest. As we go into Wednesday, this is going to be moving into the Midwest where heavy snowfall is going to be possible in Iowa, Kansas City, back into southern Minnesota and also northern Wisconsin. And there will also be a chance, I think, for a little bit of isolated severe weather on Wednesday. The main concern will be in this region here, mainly in the Ohio Valley and back into the Dixie Alley. Once again, the ingredients don't look very favorable for that significant of severe weather, but there could be some damaging winds and maybe a couple of tornadoes as well. We will be monitoring Wednesday in case we do need to go live. And then as we go into Thursday, the storm system moves into the northeast with some rain and a little bit of snow. And then by Friday, we're going to see a little bit quieter of a weather pattern once again. And then as we go into the last week of March, things do become a lot more uncertain, but there are a lot of hints right now that we are going to see some more severe weather events in the last week of March. Exactly where those happen, we don't know. Again, it's really far out, but think about it. We are in late March. We are getting very close to the peak of severe weather season, which is April and May. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Make sure to subscribe down below and click the bell icon so you're notified with the latest weather updates, as we will be the first to let you know about any big severe weather events that are coming to the United States. And for the last several days of March, we are anticipating above average rainfall along the East Coast and in the Ohio Valley, which also means we're likely going to see a few more severe weather events in this region, but mainly in areas like the Deep South and the Southeast, and perhaps a couple of events back over in the Ohio Valley. And above average rainfall expected over in the Pacific Northwest, and then drier than normal conditions expected in Texas, and also back through the Southwest, where fire conditions are expected to stay elevated even into this week across Texas and as well as Oklahoma. And this is the probabilities of seeing greater than 3 inches of snowfall between now and the end of this week. We are anticipating a better shot of snow from central Kansas back into central Wisconsin as we go into Wednesday and as well as early Thursday, with about a 50 to 70% chance currently of at least seeing 3 inches of snowfall. And then in terms of the chances of seeing more than 6 inches of snowfall, the best chances of that will be in Wisconsin and Iowa, currently sitting around a 40 to 50% chance in most of those areas, and also including northern Michigan. And over the next few days, we will be dealing with a temperature roller coaster. We are expecting a brief shot of cold air along the East Coast tomorrow, and then as we go into Tuesday, warm air returns right back to the Great Plains and the East Coast, before eventually, as we go into Wednesday and Thursday, colder air will come right back over into the Great Plains and also into the Midwest and the Southeast due to a low pressure system that'll be passing, with again the snow and maybe even a little bit of isolated severe weather. By the time we go into Thursday and into Friday, another shot of cold air along the East Coast, before eventually next week we're going to be dealing with, I think, above average temperatures for most of the country, but things again could change, as that is still well over 7 days from now. And the Climate Prediction Center between Friday of this week all the way through Tuesday of next week is forecasting above average temperatures across the Great Plains, and then below average temperatures are likely back over in the Pacific Northwest. Again, I do want to point out that fire conditions will continue to stay elevated in the central and southern plains over the next few days due to strong winds, low humidity, and there's really not been much rain recently, but let's hope that as we go later into March and early April that the rain really starts to pick up. For reference, March is one of the wettest months on record when it comes to rainfall in Texas, and we've just not had much recently, so definitely hoping that that changes as we go into April. And as always, thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below, and thank you all for tuning into our live streams over the last couple of days. We were able to reach over 3.5 million people in our 27 hours of tornado outbreak coverage, and yesterday was our longest live stream of all time consecutively at 15 hours. So I really appreciate you guys all tuning in, and hopefully I was able to help you all out with severe weather coverage throughout the last 48 hours, and I'm really looking forward to at least a little bit of quieter weather here over the next day or two before we might see some more severe weather return as we go into Wednesday. And as a reminder, our 1 million subscriber merch is still available at shopmaxvelocity.net. It's available for a couple more weeks. If you want to support our channel and what we do here, this is one of the best ways to do so. You can pick up a signed hat, which we only have about 100 left, and then we have t-shirts, hats, stickers, and as well as mugs available. Again, you can check this out at shopmaxvelocity.net or the top link in the description below.